And now we're going into AI, and now
Yeah.
they're chat GPTing their papers and blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
yeah. Yeah.
But the
Um,
range for film, it's going to take all that. We kind of touched on this a little bit. Where do you at? Do you use it? It's going to take our jobs. We're all
mm,
going to be out of work.
I don't think it's gonna. I mean, I know Tyler Perry was like, "Oh shit! Like, I'm gonna scale back on building sound stages in Atlanta because of this." And yeah, same with VR. Like, I remember my colleagues were like, "VR is gonna change everything." I'm like, "Well, okay." Try to. I made a film in VR, and I was like, "Ooh, this is weird," and I don't like who's gonna watch it. It's so hard to like get people to put the goggles on, or even Google Cardboard and YouTube. It wasn't easy for them to consume, I guess, or access on Steam or whatever. So VR for me, just kind of fun, experiment. It's like shooting on film. Try different medium and see how that changes storytelling. AI, I think, really. I mean, I made a film with it last semester, music video. I was like, what did I use? Runway Gen 3 Runway AI for image and text to video. And it just like generative AI. First of all, I had to pay, fine, okay. And then everything that it shot out was just horrible, and you would have to try and craft the prompts. It takes the joy out of that. I would rather go film something than type in a bunch of words and not get exactly what you want. What I think AI is really cool for maybe is like creative visioning. Like, if you're going to do something and you want maybe production design, get some interesting ideas. And I know for editors, like there are new things built into the software that, generative. I'm not going to use it. I don't know. Maybe I'll use them. Most importantly, transcriptions for me, like transcriptions and now being able to copy paste in a timeline. That just seems like a huge leap forward for someone like me trying to cut this. Yeah.
Now they're pushing 85 to 90% correct. They're getting, I mean, it's just so much more improved in terms of
Fantastic.
accuracy.
Hmm.
So sure. And I just did it for, SRT files for all of your subtitles. Translation. I have to translate my film into Spanish and French. You start
Awesome.
with AI, even a translator is going to start with an AI version and then fix it,
All of that is great. Great
Yeah.
uses for AI. Like, because
Um,
that's so, I used to have to hand transcribe. I mean, I'm sure we all did. I mean, of our generation, right?
yeah.
Tedious
Hours
and
of
yeah, like, okay, this is a good section I can return to, but you
yeah.
can just look at the transcript. Now you can keyword search the transcripts. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, haven't gotten into too much of using it for timelines, other than there's a software called Descript that I use for audio editing. Take the transcript in and you can edit it like a Microsoft Word document, like anything, just
Yes.
cut and paste, but it
Mhm.
matches back to your audio. And I was able to export, and so you have a little timeline because this is for like podcasts.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
but it's really, really good about getting ums out, ums and uhs and likes.
Yeah.
Like it is precise to the microsecond for that. It's way better than I could do in a Premiere timeline.
Isn't
And
that
just,
crazy? Yeah, and that's what I would spend hours doing in Pro Tools. And I was
yeah,
so proud of myself for being able to cut those out and have them be seamless. But now AI can do it, which is great because that lets me do other things. But for documentary, man, in Premiere, the new version, you can highlight, go transcript, copy, paste it in a timeline, and there's the video and sound. Like that's
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah. I was taking a Descript export that was like an audio export, and then I would like bring it into my Premiere timeline, and then I could match the audio files back to the video and like relink them. And I kind of hacked that, a couple years ago I started doing that, and now Premiere just does it. So you just like edit your word and boop, there's your selects reel.
There's your assembly. Yeah, I was like, wow, this is great.
Like, wow, okay. But it's not perfect. It's not like you just basically saved yourself some time. You made a 3-day job into a 3-hour job, but
Yeah.
still, that's good. But it's not like you're done. I think podcasts, it's you can get to almost a very final product with this. I don't think it's so there with documentary yet.
Oh, wow. Well, what does that do to podcasts then when it becomes more automated?
Well, the weird thing is Descript also lets you say, you can type it in, then you can have an AI voice like say it.
Oh my-
You can make the entire product without any human being being involved other than the one person. So what does this do for misinformation? It doesn't scare me, it terrifies me for what it can do because those AI
Oh,
voices sound super real.
right. You don't know what's real or not. There was a New York Times story like this week about two different short stories about the same topic. It was like the prompt was like summer beach read or something, and a real author wrote one, and then Chat GPT wrote one. And I thought Chat GPT had the more human element to it. I was feeling emotion from that story, and then the author wrote the other one. What that was totally like it didn't make sense. I was confused. So that human element, the it's not as perfect as, like, I think we're accustomed to see things as, you know this
Oh,
is how it is perfect, but the human element is flawed,
oh,
right?
I don't know.
I was just like I froze in fear, and so even though I've done some really cool stuff, like I wish that I had mentors who looked like me, right? Or like were queer or whatever, like that I could look towards, and they could give me a little bit of career guidance, because I was just with cis white guys in their 50s and 60s who've been doing this for years, and
Yeah.
I got a lot of coffee for people, and that's okay. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I want better for my students.
Yeah. Yeah.